So what was it like for you once the procedure was done and you are out of the operating room? What was it like for that week? What did you go through?
So I was in a great location, again, surrounded by great people. So to me, it was not that big of a deal. You do have drains, you're swollen, you're wrapped up when you come out. And I don't remember the exact timing because it was 2.5 years ago, but you go in a few days later, checking stitches, checking incisions. You have the drains, then maybe it was a few days later, you have some drains removed. Like you are changing drains, you're keeping things clean.
Is that what your mother was helping
Yes,
with?
my mother was awesome. Yeah, she was helping take care of and making sure that I was well fed and taken care of. But I just mentally was happy and excited about it. So it wasn't that big of a deal. Yes, I was swollen, but again, I don't know what happy medicine in there. I don't think that I wasn't like scared to look in the mirror. I wasn't scared to walk out around my children, and they were great with it. So for me, this was not a big deal, and I think having that made a huge difference. But it's probably, and then you'll swell up more. Maybe it was within the 3rd day or something. Your peak swelling, then it starts to go down, and some of the bruising goes down. So at a week, I'm pretty sure it was probably less than a week. I went out to dinner with them. Like the wrap bandage was off. I maybe had a scarf around my head or something, and but I wanted to get out. We went out for pizza or something like that.
I love that.
Yeah, that was great. So I think some people too go, it could be after a week. I mean, honestly, to go back to work, a 9-to-5 desk job, you need to present yourself in front of people. I probably would give it 2 weeks. And of course, you're still going to be swollen. Swelling goes down over the course of a year, but it's dramatic within 2 weeks. So,
are you feeling any pain, or is it just
no
pain?
No, there was no pain. Like you're numb in some areas. The numbness takes time to come back. There might be some spots, like I have a scar under here. There's some spots that maybe aren't fully back and might not fully come back.
Yeah, but for the most part. You are feeling again.
Oh yeah, everything's, yeah.
That's great.
Yes.
So when they did this full facial rejuvenation, where do they make incisions? How does that work?
Okay, so and I think it depends on the doctor. I'm speaking from my experience. There's incisions in the hairline here, and I was so happy how those cleared up. So I had that done. I had a bleph. I did the upper and lower, a small pinch. I had a lip lift. There is, depending what they're doing here in the neck, I have a scar under my chin so that they can go in, and again, I don't know the technical terms, but do their work down here. It was funny because I don't know if it was a year before I had a lot of piercings done. So I had a piercing like here on my ear, and where they do pull that skin back, like I had to since have that redone. And then they took fat out of my hip. So I did have a fat transfer as well. So they took fat out of each hip. So I have just little marks there. And yeah.
Really just a week and a half of swelling,
week and a half.
downtime.
Yeah, it could be 2. I mean, depending how you bruise, but if you follow, he gives you an anti-inflammatory diet. If you prepare ahead of time with your arnica and all the supplements, the thing in the swelling was phenomenal. And also, I want to make setting expectations. There's going to be things that don't go right. Like I had maybe a little problem with the chin healing. And in the hip where the fat came out. So now I have a scar, but it's something I would do again, knowing, I think it's really important to weigh the outcome, knowing that you're going in, it's not going to be perfection, but if you're going to be happier with the majority of the results, then it's, so for me it was a no-brainer.
It's worth it.
It's worth it. It's worth it, yeah.
You came back home, back to Nashville, and you ran into friends you hadn't seen for a while, or maybe even family who didn't know about what you had going on in California. What was the reaction?
Honestly, there was not much. I had some people say, is your hair different? Maybe like something looks different, but a lot of people didn't say or notice anything.
That is a real compliment to the doctor, don't you think?
And I think that is huge in timing, in deciding when you want to do it, because you don't want to have, for me, I didn't personally want to have such a dramatic change.
Great point.
And I think, when people go to and look at my before and after pictures, I'd be interested to see what people think, how much they notice. So when I did come back, I don't even remember, like, when did I tell you about the procedure? Did I tell you before? Did you recognize anything?
I did not know, and because of our schedules, we don't see each other as frequently as we would like. So it was when we went to Idaho together and we were hiking in the mountains in Sun Valley, and we started talking. I said, I remember saying to you, you look amazing. I just have to say that. This is when we were hiking. Does this ring a bell?
Yeah.
And then you said, oh, well, I had this done. And I was just...
And it had to be a year. So that probably was a year out, because I think I had it done in, 22. I had it done in June of 22.
It was a year.
And we were there in June of 23. So it was a year.
Wow.
After.
Yeah, I was, I don't want to say blown away.
Yeah, and I would love to know, like, if you were like, I could tell she had something done, but I don't know what.
I don't think it was that I thought you had something done, because I know that we both have done fillers and Botox and so forth. You just looked fresher, more,
I was out in that mountain air with you, that's why.
Maybe that's it, the mountain air. We'll blame it on that. No, it was genuine. You looked so, fresh is like the best way I can describe it, and awake and alive, and not that you ever looked tired before, anything like that. You just looked amazing to me, and that's why I said, you look amazing. I just want to let you know. And then you said, well.
Yeah. And happy to share, and happy that you even said that much, because I do want to talk about it. And I know sometimes people are hesitant to ask. I want to talk about it honestly when people are sincere and they want information, because why not? Why not? It's not about gatekeeping whatsoever.
Right.
And I think knowing it's very helpful to have the conversation, so we're asking the right questions.
Well, I love that you are talking about this, because we are learning that fillers aren't the way to go. We are learning that, and that some fillers can stay in your system, and that's not a good thing.
Mm-hmm. I can't tell you how the last time I got my lips filled.
Wow.
And I always loved it. I loved the little extra something, but I mean, it was probably at least 4 years ago. But now I'll go in and I'll ask when I go and get my Botox, like, a little something, and they're like, no. And I trust them.
You don't need it.
I trust them.
Think about
but I do think what I've had
has
that has stayed. Had I done it now, I would use my own fat.
So what did your doctor say in regard to the one in California? What did he say about when you might want to revisit a visit to him again? How long does something like this last?
It's not clear in my mind, but I feel like he said sometimes, like within 10 years, people may want to have the conversation again. Like, gravity's not going to stop. We're going to age, and if it's something, that you want to do. For me, I'm all about those kind of enhancements, improvements.
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
If it makes you feel the way you feel on the inside, if you have your outside matching your inside, it's so worth it.
Yeah, it is worth it to me, for sure.